It's the for years I've been looking for a turnkey business. Like this turnkey business, that how do I make money? And if you don't care about, well, yeah, everybody wants to be rich. I get that, but we're not all going to be rich, right? But if you want to do a job that's going to make you money that you can live off of with little investment, like this tool is going to pay for probably another tool. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I just got $18.32 of high test gas, and I put those two mixes in, and I got a full tank of gas. That gas, okay, that investment of 32 plus we'll say 12, we'll say an extra $12 worth of oil, okay? So we'll say $40 of gas is probably going to make me $2,000, by the time I go through all that gas, you know what I mean? Because, even with the chainsaw, I don't know what this thing's going to be like for, sucking up the juice. It's a smaller displacement. It's hard to say, but that doesn't make much. It's how high it revs and stuff like that, right? But what I'm getting at is everything is an investment, right? So you start off with a cheap lawnmower and a whippersnipper. And you can say, well, if I can only buy one, what should I buy first? Whippersnipper. Why? Because almost everybody has their own lawnmower. You know what I mean? It's just using other people's lawnmowers. You'll be dealing with like I'm dealing with. Like one of my clients, she wants because she has little plants all over the place in the middle of the yard. She cuts the grass, right? But I do all the whippersnipping. Right. But if I had to rely on her lawnmower to cut the grass, like most people, yeah, I got a lawnmower in the shed and it hasn't been started in 12 years. You know what I mean? And, like those type of lawnmowers, I just don't like using, because it's like it's about to break and you're using it. Right. And I don't like that. So that's the other thing. You buy your own tools. If you break it, it's your tools. It's not theirs. Even if people offer you, oh yeah, you can use this, you can use that, like, okay, the mowers and stuff like that. Yeah, they're going to break down at time, but it's just the idea of having your own. The mowers, like riding mowers are the most expensive. But let's say you saved up $2,000. Okay. You could build a hell of a business startup with $2,000. You know what I mean? There's not like, not too many businesses you could start up for like under $500. And under, between 500 and $2,000, but this yard work you can. So let's say you get, 2 rakes like I got, and you buy the rakes used for $10 a piece at a yard sale or something. Right? Okay, yeah, there you go. Fine. Okay, you'll get started with it. As long as they last you the first season, you're okay. If you get 2 seasons out of a rake, holy geez, you're really laughing. If you get more than that, you're laughing even more. But let's say you get the $60 whippersnipper and the $100 lawnmower. You're at $160, right? And if you're lucky and it's reliable enough, it'll make you enough money to go out and buy the new one. Then maybe you buy the $200 mini chainsaw like I had, like a mini beast. And I bought the other chainsaw too, which was $250, which I ended up selling to my dad. Well, I gave it to my dad, but he wouldn't just take it. He was like, no, I'm gonna buy it from you. Okay, there's that. So for $500, you can get those 3 tools. Then add in your work boots, add in safety glasses, gloves. These are a must. If you're going to work with these tools, if you don't want nerve damage in your hand, get these rubberized gloves. Oh, I don't like working with gloves. Yeah, but you're gonna hate having numb feelings in your hands for the rest of your life. Like, don't be the tough guy. Once you get used to working with gloves on and glasses, it becomes second nature. And then hearing protection. These guys, these are like $5. All these guys that, like they're 40 years old and they can't hear a fucking thing because they were tough guys. Oh, I don't like wearing them. They're uncomfortable. Yeah, but you're gonna like being deaf a lot more, or a lot less. You know what I mean? It's gonna suck more. So what I'm getting at is that don't. Like, if you're going to do it right. And if you're going to do it right, do it strategically. So for me, year one, I don't have any tools other than my chainsaws, but I don't use my chainsaws all the time. I mean, it was about 3 years ago when one of the clients' whippersnippers it was worn out. The thing was like 10 years old, right? It was worn out. And it was getting hard to start and all this stuff. I said, screw it, I'm going to go buy my own. And I went and bought my own. Hence, Snippy Shark there back there, and that thing has been rock solid for the 3 years, except for when the what do you call it, the flash arrestor thing in the exhaust plugs up, which is common. When they do, you either take it out, clean it out, cut it out, whatever, buy a new one. Or if you're wearing hearing protectors, just run it with it. It's not, you get a bit of a free-flowing exhaust, but it does run the machine hotter. So, I don't know what that little exhaust thing. It comes out with a 15 millimeter socket. Just take it in, and I think I even have it in here. It was in here. Take it in, and have it. Go into wherever the still shop or whatever, and say, "Hey, I need one of these. Maybe buy two, so you have a spare when the other one plugs up." Do that. Do that, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be fine. And then from there, okay, you start, okay, you got your little chainsaw. Well, now work on your medium chainsaw and the big chainsaw. Don't just go right to the big chainsaw. Because the big chainsaw you use once in a while, right? But the little chainsaw, you use it all the time. And the only reason why I didn't buy a second MS 162 was because a lot of I needed two little saws, but I'm like, a lot of times with that little saw, the reason why I got the little saw is so I can go up trees. Tree, Ari, we no longer climb tree. We slaughter tree. Bravely. Anyway, you'll stay focused, Yari-san. I'm so stoked to use this. But yeah, no, that's a thing. Get yourself a harness for these things. You're going to have back injuries using this stuff anyway, but learn how to use it safely. You know what I mean? Never bull with it, even when you're young and you have the energy to do so, because repetitive motions, that's what gets your shoulder sore, your knee, your back, and all that, right? So make sure you stretch good before you use stuff like that. But learn how to use it right. And then, like I say, you could start a pruning service with this, right? You need this and a small chainsaw, and just do the small stuff. You don't have to do the big honking trees all the time. Oh, a small tree fell across my yard. Okay. Mini Beast was only this big. that I was knocking down trees like those big poplars you see ahead of me. I knocked out like 3 trees that size with with Mini Beast. The base of it was like this big. I was like, screw it, I'll cut it down. It was a little slower, but it did it. Actually, it wasn't that slow when you kind of think about it. I was like, I plunged right into it and knocked it down with the wedges and everything. I was like, this thing's awesome. But the trigger kept letting go on that, right? So I made my money off of it for a season. Then the second season, it's kind of like, okay, the trigger keeps letting go. I'm on the job. I've got 3 chainsaws, and by the end of the day, I got to service all 3 chainsaws because they're all worn out, right? That was the ticket that said, okay, like that little Husqvarna, the tree tangerine. That was an awesome little chainsaw for sure. But I was like, okay, no problem. But, it did have some running issues, right? I had to adjust it a lot, right? And it got me through all the jobs. But I'm like, you know what? I think it's just time I go buy new. And that's why last year I bought the 2 new saws, right? Because I couldn't rely on Mini Beast anymore. I could have them as a secondary saw, but if I get 15 minutes into it, or 20 minutes into it, or half an hour into it, or 2 minutes into it, and the trigger lets go, I don't have time to be sitting there fixing my saws while people are paying me, right? So no, that's my take on the equipment. When it's new, there's a lot of peace of mind that comes with that. But it comes at a cost, like when you buy a big chainsaw, like guys go out and they buy the biggest chainsaw they can. They're going to go buy a 500i and they're going to be doing branches like this with it. Well, you don't want to work all day with a 25-pound saw, doing branches like that. You want Mini Beast or the Tree Piranha, which weighs like under 8 pounds. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. This thing I think is 15 pounds all in, or something like that. I'm not sure how heavy it is. That's probably just the power head's 15 pounds, but, well, no, it might be 15 pounds all in, and maybe with the gas in it, and there may be 16 pounds, whatever. So this is about the weight of a normal chainsaw, but you got it all the way out here, and you're straight up and down, so we'll see how that's going to be, right? I'm not sure if this thing is 8 feet or 10 feet. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to measure it. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. That's why. No, I will buy new, even if it's a little more expensive, a little less convenient, and takes a little longer to make back. But it's the idea that you work and work and work. Like you got like usually 2 or 3 years of headache free, and by that time you made enough money to buy more new tools. So buy new if you can do it. If you're on the edge like me, where it's like you don't quite make new tool money, just buy the tools slower. Like set it out. What is the most priority tools to have? And like the whippersnipper, I never realized how valuable that was until I bought one. It was just like, it's just, I use, again, if there was one tool for yard work, just say I offer whippersnipping services. That's it. You can work the rest of your life just whippersnipping. You'd get a little bit, well, you don't really get bored of it. Because it's kind of like mindless work in a way, unless you're around like delicate flowers and stuff. But a lot of times, once you just start getting into the swing of it, it's just like, the day goes by quite quick. And, oh, geez, I'm out of gas again. And go load up again. You can go do it again. And, so it's like that, right? So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because, yeah, I got to get stuff rolling. And, yeah, there we go. Hopefully that answers the question.